Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabanser, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a great show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So apparently there was something that was said when Stephen A. Smith was responding to this whole LeBron thing that I apparently missed out on. As you guys know, Stephen A. Smith has been responding. I don't think he's going to respond to it anymore. And as a matter of fact, what we're reacting to, or the comments that we're reacting to, were based off of something he said 2 days ago on this show, and I don't see him talking about this further. But nevertheless, I was combing through the internet, and I came across an article from what's the website? Awful Announcing. All right, and essentially what they were saying was Stephen A. Smith was essentially accusing LeBron James of mistreating, yes, believe it or not, mistreating black reporters. And I was like, wait, what? So I then began to read through the article. I'm actually trying to find the article. Oh, here it is. So yeah, I want to read the headline for you, because it essentially says Stephen A. Smith didn't always like how LeBron James treated black media. This is what the article said. Right, so because I know some of them LeBron fans, you're trying to drag out the story. It's like, bro, they just posted this article today. All right, it's a new article, right? So I went through the article and I began to read through it to understand what they were talking about, and then I found the sound, right? Because I wanted to know the specific part, because I'm like, I thought I listened to all of the key highlights of that response video, but apparently I guess I missed that part where Stephen A. Smith was saying that he didn't like one of the reasons he had issues with LeBron James in the past was because of how he mistreated black media members. And I was like, pretty interesting. Possibly something worth discussing. But before we get into his comments, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I'm very interested in the game between the Wizards and the New York Knicks. Here's what I like to do. I turn on all-in pricing so I know exactly what I'm paying for upfront. I check Game Time Picks to find out the most valuable deals. And finally, I pick the ticket I want. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is I'm going to play what he had to say. It's not long, the sound. And I'm going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to that there.
Too many people are not touching on the truth. Melo and D-Wade did. Me and LeBron don't have a relationship. LeBron don't mess with me and I don't mess with him. I respect the hell out of him. He's number 2 on the list all time. And I didn't always feel this way about him. There are times I didn't like how he treated black media. I'm not talking about myself because I'm on a certain level and I watched how others got treated and I didn't like that. But it didn't take away from his unquestionable greatness, his deified status that he has earned as one of the top 2 or 3 greatest players in the history of basketball. And I never deviate from that. I've always been kind to his family. I think his wife is the first lady of the NBA, class personified. I think his mom is an absolutely wonderful woman. I don't have to talk to Randy much. That's a good brother. Rich Paul and me are pretty damn cool. Rich is good people. So I'm cool with Mav as well. And various other people. But me and LeBron, We don't roll like that. High and by. He ain't have much use for me, and I damn sure don't have much use for him.
So you heard what he had to say. Now, I just want to get a few things out the way. I'm assuming that Stephen A. Smith is referring to something that took place early on in LeBron's career. And with that being said, at that time, I wasn't talking sports. We started talking basketball late 2019, 2020, right? We didn't really get into it. So I was just following like a regular fan. I didn't know anything about this, right? I didn't know anything about this. For God's sakes, YouTube started in 2005. So when nobody even talking about this, probably people. So I think it's something that people that covered the NBA, that worked in the NBA, would know what Stephen A. Smith is talking about specifically. So what he is specifically referring to, I am unsure because, or rather I'm unclear about, because he didn't give any specific cases of it. Now, it is important to say this, however, that I have seen certain people point out something that they have noticed that they don't like about LeBron in terms of media. This is not what I said. This is what they said. And I think even one of their friends said it. As you guys know, LeBron seldom talks sports in terms of going on outlets and talking basketball. He doesn't do it. But or being interviewed in general. But from time to time, he does. And at one point, Draymond Green had his podcast, I think the Draymond Green Show. And some people were saying, I think even Draymond asked LeBron to be on the show. And LeBron obviously didn't go on Draymond Green's show. But then he made a guest appearance on the Kelsey brothers show, right? He went on there. And people were like, damn, LeBron went on Kelsey's show, but he couldn't even go on Draymond's show. And then, of course, he had the podcast with JJ Redick. And they're like, damn, he ain't going on anybody else's show, no love anywhere else, just to JJ Redick and Kelsey. So there are some, because I heard people talking about it. We never spoke about it. We never talked about it. But I do remember people saying like, yo, he's only going to these white platforms or collaborating with white people. Why isn't he jacking like the other shows, like the Draymond Green show, or maybe Gil's Arena, or wherever else? I don't know, all the other various podcasts, maybe Paul George's show at the time, or maybe Carmelo Anthony's show. Why is he only going on these guys' shows? Now, something that's worth saying, okay? I just want to probably look at it from the vantage point of, let me see, Kelsey Brothers podcast deal. Yes, so I think it's important that we say this as well. Let's look at it from the vantage point of LeBron himself. LeBron is the biggest NBA player in the world. He's one of the most popular athletes in the world. So if you're looking at it from the vantage point, and I know my example doesn't work across the board, but if you're looking at it from the example of LeBron is saying to himself, well, I'm LeBron James, okay? And therefore, I want to go on the biggest shows. If I'm going to go on a podcast, it will be the biggest podcast. In this case, going on the Kelsey brother show, they have a huge deal. They got a 3-year agreement worth reported $100 million for their podcast, right? $100 million. Pretty big deal. So he's like, I'll probably go on a big podcast, right? But then some could say, well, JJ Redick doesn't have a big deal and other, so why'd you go on his show? So I get that. But I think it's important that we point that out. Now, I have seen LeBron on another show, which featured Richard Jefferson. There was a white lady there and somebody else, but I don't remember the show. Is it Road Trippin' or The Truck or Struck? Whatever, the show. I've seen him there. I remember that some years ago. So I'm not ready to kind of take it to the place where some people may say, oh, maybe he got something against the brothers or whatever. I don't have enough evidence for that, but also it's not something I thought about enough to really sit down and say, if there's smoke, there's fire there, right? I don't know that, right? I don't know that. But Stephen A. Smith is saying he didn't like the way LeBron mistreated black media members. Who he's referring to, I don't know. I wish he referred to it specifically. Ultimately, these guys, when they say these things, they don't really give you any concrete examples. Obviously, he knows, but he feels like maybe it's not worth putting these people's names out there, and therefore it leaves us room to kind of speculate and wonder, well, who is he talking about? I personally don't know, right? But he's saying that he didn't like that. So the question is simply this. Do you think LeBron, maybe throughout the course of his career, mistreated or was unfair to black media members? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch you guys on the next show. Peace.